What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Coach Nostra back at you guys with a quickness with another Kyrie 6 review. That unboxing, that on feet look with the sock combo to match, guys. Let's jump right into another one, fam. Alright guys, I already kind of mentioned what these are. The Nike Kyrie 6, which we've done every single one of, guys. This colorway is black/black, which I want to say at least maybe one of the other boxes says. Maybe not, maybe it says black/multicolor. They love throwing that multicolor around in the Kyrie line, and sometimes you'll get the shoe in hand and have no idea what they're talking about when it comes to multicolor, right fam? Anyway guys, in a size 11, let's rip these out the box and check this pair out, guys. Alright guys, there they are in hand, the Nike Kyrie 6 Shotclock colorway. These are clean, however maybe a little bit simple, but to me, I don't know what it is about this colorway. It worked for me, man. I was definitely excited about these, however not like geeked excited like I was, let's say, for the Asia release. That actually for me was about the same week. This pair I want to say is kind of confusing because with the whole shutdown and everything, I feel like this is always a theme in all these reviews. It always comes up in some way, shape, or form, the shutdown, right? Because of the aforementioned shutdown, at some point, some retailers were dropping these. Like, I want to say Finish Lines were dropping these. Some of the stores that did not close down, right? Like all the Foot Lockers, places like that, they closed down, okay? But a lot of these Finish Lines and other stores, depending on where you were, those stores did not close down, guys. And some retailers were getting stuff like this, and honestly, it didn't really seem like there was a release date attached to these. If you go on Foot Locker's calendar right now, if you scroll forward, if you scroll backwards, they don't have any kind of place marker for these. So once my local Foot Locker got them, bam guys, they found themselves right up on shelves. I walked in there just kind of scoping out, trying to see what deals there were to be had, if any, that appealed to me. Because right now guys, if you're shopping for a deal, if you're shopping for a steal, there's a lot of good price tags out there in some of these stores. Honestly, no matter what we're talking about, whether we're talking about sneakers, apparel, collectibles, there's just a lot of good to go around because a lot of people have been struggling, a lot of retailers have been struggling, a lot of retailers are trying to bridge the gap that was inevitably created by the shutdown and people not working, people not getting paid, right? So in some places this shoe has been out for a while, and then you got places like here where I am in Raleigh, North Carolina, where this shoe literally just hit shelves like 3 or 4 days ago. I want to say actually it was a day before the Asia colorway, the purple colorway, or the gray colorway, however you wanted to word that. The one I just reviewed, literally sitting here wearing the exact same clothes. I hit finish recording on that one and rolled right into this one, guys. Anyway, kind of a confusing colorway because it's one of those colorways that sort of was probably scheduled to roll out during the shutdown and got pushed back because so much seemed to be releasing during the shutdown and nobody was really buying it, right guys? However, the difference between this colorway and some of those other colorways, I feel like this one is not really on sale yet anywhere. I'm sure it is maybe somewhere, however, not my local stores, like a few of these other Kyries that they've got, and then literally like 2 days later, they're on sale, guys. It's unfathomable, right? This colorway, the Shotclock colorway, I want to say I've actually heard people also refer to these as the 11 colorway because it does say 11 in this kind of teal and then sort of like this a little bit more burnt orange kind of color. It says it on the shoe twice on the lateral side of the shoe. Of course, 11 is Kyrie's number. It has been a significant number for Kyrie, not only in just like the story of Kyrie's life. There's been a lot of things that the number 11 could sort of apply to, whether it was the number of games he played at Duke, the number on his jersey, a lot of things, right? It was also the number of cities they chose to represent when they dropped the city pack at the beginning of the timeline of the Nike Kyrie 6, right? If y'all remember that, they dropped 12 colorways, however, one was dropped worldwide. The other 11 were exclusive to those cities, so a pretty exciting drop. Rumor has it that Kyrie actually wanted to do a lot more cities and that Nike really had to scale it back to 11 to make it something that was actually potentially profitable, right? If they did, let's say 300 cities, there's no way they're making money off those sneakers because that's a lot of work to go into making 300 different colorways, right? We still don't have 300 colorways of Kyrie's, so maybe if you start throwing in all those PEs, but obviously those PEs, that game is to sell shoes, you know what I'm saying? They sign those athletes, the motivation is to continue to sell shoes to people like us. So anyway guys, kind of a confusing colorway in terms of some of the inspirations behind it. It's super clean. The rest of the shoe is pretty much this kind of black color. However, to me, it's almost got this kind of hue of blue to the black. I want to say that, like, for example, the first colorway that dropped, that black is a little bit more of a traditional black, especially up here on the mesh portion on the toe box. I don't know, maybe it's just the way the light hits it, but to me there's definitely the slightest hue of blue to a lot of the portions, especially that toe box. It really shows up well on the mesh portion. The actual strap of the shoe, when you look up close, it's actually sort of this smoky gray translucent color, so you can't quite see through it because it's such a dark smoky gray. However, a nice little contrast from the rest of the shoe, especially in hand, right guys? When you turn and look at the lateral portion of the shoe, which is definitely the motivation behind the colorway, it's definitely the most noticeable portion of the shoe. As we've touched on, you see some hits of this sort of kind of teal color, some hits of this kind of burnt orange color, and all over the shoe there's a very geometric pattern of dots, almost like a really old scoreboard that's just comprised of tons and tons of light bulbs. A pretty cool, pretty unique look, I would say. Again, this to me is something that in the years to come, this is a colorway that I think will eventually be appreciated and, you know, people will look back on with some fondness. But right now they're just coming so rapid fire with these colorways, and honestly I feel like we're starting to get used to how high the bar has been set for the themes and the inspirations and the ideas and the names behind these colorways, that when something like this drops, I don't want to say it's something that misses, but it's something that's not necessarily hitting on all cylinders like some of these other drops, you know what I mean? Like whenever Concepts does something, like any of the big theme drops, of course, you know, the SpongeBob stuff or the Decades pack, the General Mills pack, I feel like since that bar has been set so high that it's easy to sort of feel let down by colorways like this. At least that's how I feel personally. Not to say that I am let down. I do like this colorway. I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty unique. And with the right pair of socks, these are going to be amazing in my opinion, fam. The rest of the shoe, on the lateral portion of the shoe, it's got a really dope silver metallic swoosh right there. Really does reflect the rainbow hits very well. And then when you turn and look at the medial portion of the shoe, on that back half of the shoe, that swoosh is going to be contrasted with more of the dots that are printed on this kind of nubuck type material right back here, and you've just got sort of the dot outline in that kind of teal color on that swoosh right back there. One thing that I think would have been cool is if they had gone with one color on the swoosh on one shoe and then come at you with that kind of burnt orange color on the other shoe, just to contrast a little bit. They chose to not, however, do that. As we turn and look at the toe box of the shoe that we've talked about a little bit, you've got some sort of mismatch hits on the stitching right there on the bottom two laces. I like that. I dig that. I definitely dig what they did right there. I like the mismatch. I always like whenever they bring the hits of color right there on the stitching. It's very subtle. It's small. It's not a lot. However, it's another small attention to detail factor that for me kind of catches my eye every time. I'm always kind of eager to see what colors they threw right there. On this colorway of the shoe, you knew that's what they were going to come with, guys, because there is 3 colors on this shoe. There's black, there's that sort of teal color, and then there's that sort of burnt orange color. That's it. Unless you're factoring in the strap itself, which of course is comprised, it's made out of a completely different material. You got that sort of plastic kind of rubber material. You've got the all-seeing eye on the strap, the Roman numeral 6 on the inner portion of the strap, which has been a staple in just about every single colorway of this shoe, minus a few here and there, Chinese New Year, stuff like that. Some of the newer drops like the Asia joints or whatever. I guess I lied to you a little bit, guys, because we got a little hit of gray right there on the Zoom Turbo unit, which they always dress in a different color. Nice little touch right there. Then that outsole, guys, tough in my opinion. You've got some large hits of that kind of teal, you know, coupled with the burnt orange, and then a little hit of black on the pupil itself. More teal on the Kyrie Irving signature right there. Pretty tough outsole. I definitely like those. That color definitely reminds me of some really sick Kobe's. The tongue of the sneaker, which has basically always featured Kyrie Irving's logo. No different, except for, again, guys, they came with that dot pattern. The left shoe, the dot pattern is going to be in that teal color. The right shoe is going to be in that burnt orange color. I do like the mismatch there. However, like I said, I wish they had mismatched the swooshes on the medial portion as well. I think that would have been cool. I think that would have popped a little bit more. It's subtle, so it's not something that would have made people not want to purchase the shoe because it's not a whole lot of mismatch. It's just a little bit, kind of like the tongues are. However, to me, would have made a little bit more difference and made this colorway perhaps a little bit more memorable, guys. Fit on these shoes, guys, definitely size up. These shoes run small. They run somewhat narrow. To me, the toe box on this shoe needs a little bit more working in than even something like the Kyrie 5. The Kyrie 5 was a humongous struggle to get your foot in because of that fly trap that dominated the shoe. It was a love it or hate it feature, something you could not help but notice. You could not help but take into consideration when you were putting the shoe on. However, for whatever reason, I just feel like the toe box on this shoe, it clamps down a little bit more. It's a little bit more snug for me. No matter how you lace the shoe, how you strap the shoe, if you don't strap the shoe, whatever. Definitely size up at least a half size in these guys. You might need to size up a little bit more if you got big feet, wide feet, or if you're growing, you might need to consider going up a full size. Definitely get out there and try some of these on if you can, guys, because if stores are open in your area, they should have a pair in your size, guys. They've released so many colorways. They should have something that you can kind of get an idea of what you need, guys. So definitely that's my suggestion to you there. Performance wise, we've touched on all that stuff, guys. If you watched any of my Kyrie reviews, however, I'll throw it in here for any of the noobs that want it specific and are actually thinking about this colorway. That Zoom Turbo unit, which made its debut in the Kyrie 5, really awesome job that they did right there. They took what has traditionally been a square or rectangle airbag and they made it more of like a hexagon. So guys, it's covering a lot more surface area on the bottom of your foot. There's actually like metal braids in that Zoom Turbo unit, so when you come down on it, parts of that airbag are gonna flex independently from the rest of the airbag. So guys, it's gonna kind of conform more to where you're coming down on your foot, which I think is a dope idea, dope concept. Of course, compared to the Kyrie 5s, they made these a little bit more low profile to the ground, so you're hugging the court a little bit more. However, you still got that good responsive cushioning that the Zoom Turbo unit provides. The grip on the outsole, in my opinion, they did a great job there. You've got a lot of uniformity in this shoe, which is what you want. You don't want more grip laterally versus horizontally, and the shoe always seems to perform no matter the court conditions, indoor, outdoor, how dusty the court is, or what have you. They of course continue to roll the grip on that outsole way up onto the midsole portions of the shoe to allow you to contort your foot in different directions and to kind of roll off, you know, the inner ball of your foot or whatever, and make a lot of those really unique pivots and moves that basketball players make on the fly. So again, a really good job there. Something they've done a pretty good job with on the outsoles for a while with this Kyrie signature line. The strap is pretty cool. I'm always a sucker for a strap on the shoe, especially when you can wear it loose, which is kind of difficult to do with this shoe. I know I get a lot of flack in the comment section for not strapping these shoes. I really don't understand. I don't really understand why someone else needs to wear their shoes the way you wear your shoes and vice versa, man. There is no right or wrong way, you know what I'm saying? As long as you're not just trashing them, you put the money in, you invested in the shoe, so you should be able to really do what you want with it. I get that some people feel like you're disrespecting it by doing certain things or whatever, but not strapping the shoe, that is not disrespecting the shoe at all, guys. Just because this shoe is designated a basketball shoe, look it up. Kyrie specifically told the designers of this shoe that he wanted this shoe to outlive that. He wanted it to be more than just a basketball shoe. He wanted it to potentially be a shoe that people would throw on their feet casually and when they were just going out, and not necessarily only when they were stepping on the court, guys. So get out your feels on that. I'm pretty much just delete your comments if you throw that downstairs, guys, because I don't really have time for all that hate and all that noise and nonsense, guys. We try to keep it all positive and just uplift one another around here. There's enough negativity in this world. We don't need it going on about how somebody wears their sneakers, guys. So miss me with all that. I don't get it. However, having said all that, guys, sometimes that strap comes up a little short when you're wearing them and you tie these things pretty tight, as you would performance wise being on court, you know, to really lock yourself in and give yourself the confidence in the shoe and the grip that you have in the shoe, the way the shoe's hugging your foot, that strap comes undone pretty easily. So honestly, they maybe could have made it a little bit longer or made the portions of the Velcro a little bit bigger. Something that I anticipate they'll research a little bit more going forward, because I'm sure they've noticed that over the lifespan of this shoe. But all in all, guys, a great shoe to hoop in. Everybody's different. Everybody's gonna have sort of their opinion of this shoe versus that shoe. This might be the best basketball shoe in the world for you, while your best friend, it might not really apply to him, because you guys have completely different shaped feet. That's just how it is. That's why Nike sells so many different basketball shoes. That's why so many of their shoes target the signature player the way that they do, guys. Anyway, I hope this review has been helpful for you guys. Let me know downstairs, you copping these, you sleeping on these, have you seen these in stores yet? Have they been in stores for a while? Do you not care for this colorway? Let me know downstairs, guys. If you throw me a reason and you explain it a little bit to me, that's not necessarily being negative. Everything's not for everybody, guys. Or you might not just have the bread to spend on this versus something like, let's say, the Asia colorway or something completely different. Guys, let's check them out on feet with that sock combo. Y'all know what to do. Comment, like, subscribe. Throw me any questions down below, guys. I'll try to hit you guys back prompt. Much love. Thank you guys for rocking with my channel, supporting me. Stay blessed, fam. Stay safe. Peace.